Perry Lakes Athletic Stadium is not one of the city's most populated sporting venues at the best of times.
He's probably one of the most highly principled people I've ever met in my life, and I used to tell him that quite often. One thing about Wally is once he got his teeth into something, there was no letting go, certainly in regard to waste and even things outside that.
For a while there, we used to play tennis at Kings Park. Wally conned me there because he was very good at tennis, you know, and I thought I'd be able to beat him because I was a better athlete, but he was much too good for me.
There's a thing or two about that game. We'll be back with Russell in just a moment. I think he's ready now. Busy answering phones.
1984, Waste came together down at the University of Western Australia.
But like an addition of the entertainers, wasn't it? Or going to the dentist, depending where you're sitting. Barry's next with the
We were looking for somebody to be the director of the new institute, and a whole range of possibilities were out there. And one of the most unlikely was probably Wally Foreman.
Notice we did have a few technical problems tonight. For that we do apologise.
I remember when we looked at it, we thought, well, here's a guy who's absolutely passionate about sport with an encyclopedic knowledge. Smart guy, he can do this.
Well, he used to always joke that when Waste first started down at the university, I had a staff of 1.5, and he was always very quick to tell me that the half was a part-time secretary, given his lack of stature. But it was a remarkable story, It actually brought elite level sport in Western Australia under the one roof. It was what was considered at the day state-of-the-art facilities, gyms, laboratories and everything like that.
For the Olympics in Atlanta, we developed those little ice vests that everybody wears now when they're playing in the heat. We did a lot of work in the heat, developing training indeed an environment which was going to be taxing. I think we won the gold medal in Atlanta. We scored 70% of our goals in the second half because we played a high-tempo game in an environment where people didn't think you could.
Now, Wally knew that he didn't always make friends. For him, it was all about the athlete. It was all about the programs. It was all about the coaches.
One of the things that really stood out to me was what I'd been told about his characteristics was that when there were situations where he could sacrifice, say, something to do with his flight or his travel or his accommodation for the betterment of an up-and-coming athlete, he would choose that option.
Wally took enormous pleasure in seeing any athlete succeed, but those that were under his wing, if you like, were the ones that he was tenacious in supporting.
But she has got the world record. The crowd is happy. Emma George.
I mean, the greatest memory I have of Wall at the ABC was having the opportunity to call the gold medal at the 2004 Athens Olympics, the hockey.
Keeper are on the edge of the circle. In it comes. There goes the shot on goal. It's in. It's in. Jamie Dwyer. Jamie Dwyer.
I think that was a magnificent moment for him. Just the look when he came back to where we were staying that night, and just I've heard many times the voice again of that very famous call, and I think that really was icing on the cake for him.
An historic gold medal in Olympic hockey.
Growing up, I'd always believed that running was impossible, and I was ready to try and actually challenge that belief. It was just a lifelong dream that I've had since being a little kid watching the Olympics when I didn't even know that there was a difference between the Olympics and the Paralympics, and said, that's what I want to do when I'm older.
Australian Brant Garby was soon out in front.
The leg that I was using kept breaking, and so there was times where I'd go for a ride and the part that would hold the foot to the pedal would snap. I came and spoke to Waste about it, and then they introduced me to the Wally Foreman scholarship. I applied and was lucky enough to be selected, and it made my dreams come true of being able to design this cycling league.
Unfortunately, when he passed away, I was in New Zealand, and I heard the news at a distance. I was terribly shocked.
Unfortunately, what happens a lot in sport is that it is the athletes that are remembered, and that's fine. It is the athletes that go out there and get the job done. They are the ones that win Olympic and World Championship medals and the likes. But those people are all helped along the way. I think what Wally did launched a whole era of professionalism and perfection in elite level sport that this state never had. I think it would be a travesty for this state if Wally's memory didn't live on as a legacy for anybody that became involved in sport. And they want to always remember Wally Foreman. That's why I think the foundation is such a great thing.